You're falling, not in a dream, right now, inside your own bed. 1 second you're drifting off, the next, your body slams awake, heart pounding, gasping, like the floor just vanished. If you just nodded, you're not alone. Millions of people wake up mid-fall every single night, convinced for 1 second that they narrowly escaped death. If you've ever experienced something Chinese while sleeping, a voice, a shape, a sound that wasn't there, you probably never told anyone. How do you explain something like that out loud? Tonight, you'll find out that millions of people have felt the exact same thing, and that's just the beginning. Tonight, your brain will also silence your muscles, talk without you, walk without you, show you people who aren't there, lock your body while you're wide awake, and erase entire minutes from your memory. All of it comes from one place, one hidden machine buried in your brain that doesn't treat sleep as rest. It treats sleep as a threat to be managed every single night, whether you notice or not. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what that machine is, and you'll never look at your own bedroom the same way again. You're lying still, muscles going loose, breathing slowing down. Then, a jolt rips through your chest. You bounce awake, adrenaline flooding your veins. That's a hypnic jerk. One leading theory: as your muscles relax and your heart rate drops, an ancient part of your brain misreads the signal. It doesn't register a mattress, it registers falling. So it fires an emergency command. Catch yourself, now! Harmless, but it's the same brain using the same trick every single night. And once it settles you down, it begins messing with your very perception of reality. One blink, 8 hours are gone. Or the opposite, a 10-minute nap where you fall in love, live through months, and wake up to 6 minutes on the clock. Your brain has no internal clock. It measures time by the sequence of events it processes. Awake, the real world keeps that honest. Asleep, it can stretch or compress time however it wants. If your mind can rewrite the clock on a whim, it can just as easily bypass your conscious will to manipulate your voice. You wake up to a text from a friend asking why you said something so strange last night. You were asleep by 11, except you weren't silent. If you've experienced this, you probably never told anyone. How do you explain answering questions in your sleep with zero memory of it? Here's why. Somewhere between light and deep sleep, the wiring crosses. The pathways that produce speech switch on, while the part of you that decides what to say stays completely offline. A body speaking lines with nobody home to write them. But if your brain can unlock your voice without your consent, what happens when it unlocks your entire body? You're asleep, but on the floor of your bedroom, your feet are moving. You stand, you walk to the door, you turn the handle. Look into your eyes right now, and you'll see a glassy, unblinking stare. Sleepwalking splits your brain in half. The pathways controlling movement are wide awake. The parts responsible for judgment are still trapped in the deepest stage of sleep. A loaded vehicle on cruise control, nobody behind the wheel. While this physical autopilot runs in the background, your brainstem is often forced to execute a far more dangerous, hidden survival protocol. Tonight, your brain might save your life. You'll never know it happened. Your throat collapses. Oxygen drops. You are, quietly, suffocating. So your brainstem launches a rescue you won't remember. Adrenaline, a sliver of wakefulness, a gasp, and back under. This is sleep apnea. It can repeat 50 times an hour. You wake up exhausted, with no idea your brain spent the entire night fighting to keep you breathing. But when your brain works this hard to fight exhaustion at night, it leaves you vulnerable to a catastrophic hardware shutdown during the day. Daylight. You're driving, eyes open, certain you're awake. Then the car ahead is suddenly 300 feet closer than it should be. For a few seconds, your brain hit its limit and shut down without asking. A microsleep. You vanish from your own life, and your body keeps moving on nothing but momentum. When the mind is this starved for reset, its sensory hardware begins to violently misfire. You escape the highway, make it home, and sink back down into your bed, calmer. Boom! An explosion rips through your skull. You bolt upright. The room is silent. That's exploding head syndrome. Your brain shuts down region by region as you fall asleep, like a stadium turning off its lights, section by section. Occasionally, instead of a gentle shutdown, your auditory neurons fire all at once. Your mind reads that internal spike as a catastrophic external sound. It is a harmless glitch, but proof of how fragile your grip on reality really is. Because sometimes, the lights don't just flicker. The dream world begins to actively leak into your actual bedroom. You're on the exact edge between awake and asleep. Boots climb your stairs. A radio plays static from an empty closet. Shapes crawl across your ceiling. Not a haunting, a timing slip. Your brain is supposed to shut off the outside world before switching on the dream generator. Sometimes it starts screening the movie before the theater doors have closed. But watching the horror movie play out in your room is nothing compared to getting physically locked inside of it. You wake up, brush your teeth, check your phone, walk downstairs. Then you blink. You're staring at the ceiling. None of that happened. You get up again. This time, your hand passes through the toothbrush like smoke. A third time. A fourth. You're trapped inside a nesting doll of bedrooms, each one collapsing the second you think you've escaped it. This is a false awakening loop. Your brain expects to wake up, but your body stays locked down, so your visual cortex builds a replica of your room from memory, flawless enough to fool you completely. The question it leaves behind: how do you prove that this layer, right now, is the real one? And then, the simulation collapses into the ultimate biological trap. Your eyes open, 3:14 a.m. You are wide awake. You can see the window. You can see the clock. You try to move. Nothing. Your leg feels cast in concrete. You try to call out. Nothing but shallow, panicked breath. The room turns cold. Something detaches from the shadow of your closet door. It moves toward the bed, A weight presses onto your chest. This is sleep paralysis, a timing failure in the switch that paralyzes your muscles every night so you can't act out your dreams. Here, your mind wakes up first while the lockdown stays engaged. And your fear center, realizing your body can't defend itself, reaches into your deepest anxieties and projects a shape onto the room in front of you. A nightmare with your eyes wide open. Here's the part almost nobody realizes. Tonight, while you sleep, that same machine will silence your muscles, put words in your mouth, walk your body without you, rewrite your bedroom from memory, invent a figure out of your own fear, detonate a sound that was never there, restart your breathing dozens of times, erase you from a few seconds of your own life, and quietly bend time itself. You'll remember almost none of it. It isn't 10 separate malfunctions. It's one relentless survival system running the same shift every single night since before you can remember. Which leaves us with one final haunting truth. Tonight, when you turn off the lights, you aren't just going to sleep. You are handing over the keys of your reality to a machine you do not consciously control. And you have to trust that it will decide to give them back to you in the morning. So tonight, when that familiar weight starts pulling you under and your body gives that sudden, violent jerk, don't panic. Your brain is just checking if you're still there.